What's up, guys? How's it going? My name's Sean, full-time eBay reseller, probably turning more into a part-time eBay reseller. The last video I uploaded, I talked about my 6-month income for the beginning half of this year, 2024. The results were okay, but it's on a downhill slide. I've been doing other types of work to supplement my income. However, I wanted to talk about some of the comments from that video. I had a lot of you guys watch. It's at 1,800 views in the last 4 days, so even YouTube is on a bit of a decline, but I understand. I have not been uploading as consistent. We're trying to change that right now. The reason I want to make this video is because I got a really long comment and it kind of made me reflect on pretty much how my life has been this last year with YouTube and how the reselling's been going, and it kind of hit pretty deep. I mean, it's tough to put yourself out there in front of people, but then to have other people closely watch you and be like, hey, this is what I've noticed and this is what I think. The first one I want to talk about is the most liked comment on the video. This was by Mike's2131, and it says, Tech left because he didn't want to renew his 5-year lease. Don't know how he heard that information. He probably is in Tech's group or knows Tech. This got 7 likes. Yeah, I threw Tech out there. The reason I think he left is because, you know, he wasn't making as much money as before, which is probably pretty true, but who knows his true intentions. I'm just saying kind of what I think about, you know, his situation. It got 7 likes. A lot of people, like to say that Tech has such a strong following of people that, you know, they typically will defend him at all costs. And it's not like anyone's attacking the guy. It's just, you know, he's a big figure, so people like to say things what they think about him, you know. And he was super mysterious online for a long time and then came out with these, you know, massive numbers in the group with Chris and everything. And that's kind of how that went. So my response to that comment was interesting. He did have a massive space, which we saw in that first video he put out on YouTube. It looked like, I mean, like a legit building. Maybe he just had some of that space. I'm not really sure. Mike followed up by saying a reseller can get by with lower margin items. Now, I do think that's possible. I just feel like it's so much work. There's a lot other things you can do that can make that same type of money without really going through all those clothes. Anyway, Mike also said it's different when everybody's cost of living goes up. For example, he's talking about like just, you know, people paying for different things on eBay, how you know, they're making less money. And he said, in my opinion, the low margin, high volume method doesn't work in this economy. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think you can do it. I think it's an easy in the sense that once you figure it out and you figure out a source, it's an easy task. Like, it doesn't take much brain power to do photos. It doesn't take much to do listings once you know how to do it. Like, being more creative with content and things like that does cost a little bit more energy, but sometimes the pay can be even better. I said back to Mike, I said a lot of resellers looking for those high value items off the new racks all across the country, which is what I have seen in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Pretty much if I know everything about clothes that I can possibly know, then if I'm not at the first racks that come out, I'm not getting the good stuff. That's just how it's going to go. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are. If you're not there when it happens, it's not going to be there. And Tech actually gave a really good example in one of the podcast episodes with Chris where he said, I can have the best crew for tree cutting, I can have the best uniforms, all the vehicles gassed up, the best equipment, but if nobody actually calls, then that doesn't make any money. So if you have all the knowledge, everything, you're at the thrift store, if you don't catch the new stuff coming out and it's just old stuff that's been picked through and you've even yourself has gone through it, you're not going to find those items. And then VIPZ9 says, you're wrong, your opinion is wrong towards Mike. So always good to see a little bit in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and like and heart. I mean, why not? But I'm just going to say interesting once again because, well, that's interesting. Like, he didn't say why his opinion is wrong. He just said your opinion is wrong. And then somebody, the sorcerer, I don't know how to say it. The Sorcerer says, Tech also said in his video that he was tired of chasing pennies. I think it really started to wear him down. Now, he could have been meaning actual pennies or just means like such a lower amount. So that is possible. So I'm going to say that is possible. I just want you guys to get a little insight of how I like read and respond to comments because honestly, I don't have the most time to really put in-depth answers to each comment, but if somebody leaves an in-depth answer, it really gets me thinking, and I do read all the comments because I'm not at the high level where you don't read everything. This is the reason I decided to make this video. From Resale Purpose Only says, I think from the beginning, a longtime viewer of your content was writing, the writing was on the wall. So he's been watching the content and he said it looks like the writing's been on the wall. Everyone has a difficulty, whether it's cost of living, cost of space, no thrift stores around them, high price, did I go 3 already? high-priced metropolitan areas, lack of inventory causes them to drive farther. In your case, which is me, he says, it seems that your cost of living is very low, but you need to travel far to get your items. True. The items that you pick up, very much the volume model similar to tech. He says you would really need tens of thousands of items to produce a decent income and livable wage. I don't think you need tens of thousands, but you definitely need thousands to be at a livable wage with a decent income, which for me is like, you know, that $55,000 to $65,000 is kind of like in my area of living, like cost of living, that's fine. You can live off of that. Now, would you want to work 50 hours for that a week? Like, no, not anymore. Anyway, it's a ton of work, he says, or she. I don't really know if this is a he or she. He says, should we say they? if we don't know if it's a he or she, do we say they? For resale purpose only. I'm going to say commenter. That's what I'm going to say, commenter. Commenter says, it's a ton of work, especially if you're going out of the way and handpicking these from thrift stores as opposed to flea markets and having them brought to you for a pickup and delivery type situation. Now, I'll stop there and say I did try the flea markets in Dallas. They start at 7:30 on Saturday. That's whenever the trucks roll in, and there's about a dozen other resellers there that are pretty good, and they're right there. So as the tables are setting up, the truck is unloading. Now, if there's somebody getting there before that, I don't know. But for me to make it to that thrift flea market, 7:30 on a Saturday, I have to leave my house about 4:45. Now, I'm not against getting up early, but with a wife and young kid, whenever Saturday morning rolls around, she wants to sleep in. She wants to hang out with me. I don't want to be in Dallas looking through a bunch of clothes. I can make money doing other things, which is what I'm really starting to work on right now. But anyway, so yeah, I don't have that set up, right? I don't have that plug. After all the items you picked up and the things you seem to find, seems you haven't quite researched to exhaustion the things that are available within a few hours of view. That one hit deep. It cut deep in here. Pretty much what he's saying, or what commenter is saying, is that you have not studied up on your items. We keep seeing the same stuff because he's been watching the channel for the last year. Or the commenter. We'll just say he, for all intents and purposes. It's easier because I don't know how many women would actually like care to write such a long comment. I feel like a guy would be this critical, but who knows? That dug deep because he's right, or she's right. He's right. They pretty much nailed it on the head. I have not done the researches. The keywords I've been lazy with. I haven't been really digging into the reselling stuff because I haven't been watching the content. Once I figured out kind of what to do and what was getting by, I was creating content for you guys, but then also I was not learning up on new items. Now, I will tell you, I have been a bit mischievous. I have not told you every single brand of item that I've ever picked up. I do hold back on some of them because my friend Mike, K&M Resell, he told me he didn't do it. He said, yo, I haven't told anybody about that brand when I found a new brand. I haven't been doing that either, but now I feel like I should be forthright. The item brand was 10,000s. It's a kind of undescript brand, but that's the one we were talking about. There are a couple more that I haven't talked about, but the brand 10,000s is a pretty good one to find. It has like dashes going diagonal. That's like the logo. That's all it is. And then sometimes it'll say 10,000s on like the pants and stuff. Anyway, so he said, you know, you're not learning items pretty much. Well, then that goes back to my point earlier of like, even if you know all the items, if you go to the thrift stores 2.5, 3 hours away and you're not there for the new racks, it doesn't matter what items you know because, you know, even average resellers, part-time resellers know what a good brand kind of looks like. Anyway, going on, commenter said, finding those items as opposed to picking up the same items you've had over and over in saturated markets, probably referring to like Ralph Lauren and some of those other brands. Then the commenter says, it is very doable whether you do volume model or high SAP. They both require a lot of work in different ways. I do think it's doable, but it depends on like what you mean. Like how much money do you mean and how many hours are you talking about? We only get so many hours in the week, right? 24 times 7, and you got to sleep and stuff like that. Anyway, commenter said, wishing you success in whatever direction you decide to go. But then as they said, but trying to blame increased costs across the board, I don't think it's just. We all knew or should know that the cost of everything is always going up and includes the cost of goods, shipping, living expenses, supplies, etc. Now, my argument to that last sentence is, guess what? You absolutely can blame the cost of things going up because if the economy's in a downturn and people aren't buying used goods, if the thrift stores are now becoming better resellers, that's less money to go around. So yeah, I'm not going to work the 50 hours because I guarantee you if I did the same effort I did last year when I made that $65,000, I guarantee you it would be less money. And I kind of showed that in the income video. I had more sales, but actually less profit with more sales in the first half of this year. Anyway, I hope the video wasn't too annoying for you guys, but I do think it's cool. I like to read the comments. Let's read a couple more that came in just so that we can say that we read more than 2 because there was a few in here. Somebody said, "Oh, this makes me sad, but I get it. I'll miss your reselling videos. I've learned a ton. Thank you. Good luck with other adventures." Honestly, I said we're down, but not down. I'm still making content like this video, but I'm also going to do thrift trips, probably just less. I mean, I haven't been posting a lot of those trips, but I'm going to take a couple per month. And then I do want to get into garage sales with my son come springtime, maybe even the fall. Who knows? I think he's ready. Caleb sells. He's another good reseller that does YouTube. He says he went from 18 to 20 sales per day, but he's down to 8 to 10 per day over the last month or so. I'm pretty sure he has thousands of items, and I think he's around 12K per month in sales. He says this fall and winter will tell me a lot about the viability of above average income selling clothing. Now, keyword there, above average income, that depends on like who you are, where you live. But yes, Caleb sees the writing on the wall. That one got 5 thumbs up. So best of luck to you, Caleb. Someone commented. Now, here's the thing. If you guys comment on a comment, I don't get to see that. YouTube shows me the new comments, but if you comment on a thread, I don't see that unless I go into the video. So I'm actually going to respond to this one live in the video in the past for you guys because you're seeing it in the future. Chauncey Williams says, Thrift Life made a video the other day after a year off from sourcing. He lives in San Diego. His Goodwill was charging $12.50 for a long sleeve button up shirt. Exactly, right? Dang. I'm going to say, dang, that's a lot for a shirt, period. I thought that guy, meaning Thrift Life, was living in Mexico because I thought he was in Mexico. If he's back, dude, I'm for it. I thought his video when he talked about the Goodwills being, he said he equated it to war, and he talked about the crackheads in the thrift stores and stuff like that, and that he talked about like battling these people in the thrift store. It was so funny, and that's what I really, a lot of people like him for his manifesto and all the brands he shared with everybody, but I love him for his dark humor and his wit. Digital Lad says, I feel you, bro. I recommend selling a bit of everything. Yeah, I do want to go into more hard goods and shoes. I think I think it'll be good for the channel, but I also think it's a little bit more ASP, right, than just the clothing. Thanks for your honest and transparent content as always. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that comment. You are a class act and continued success for Q4. That's crazy, but thank you. I appreciate you thinking that I'm a class act. I try. Anyway, yeah, so there's a bunch more comments. Really glad for everyone that did. I appreciate you guys watching. I may do some more videos. I have some like creative ideas, and I also want to do these types of like review videos just to kind of give another like update of feedback of like, yeah, I read the comments and this is kind of my thoughts on it. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you later. Bye.